Hey everybody, and welcome to my N5 series on the Dirty Wave M8, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. Today, I wanted to talk about basically drum and bass patterns and getting them kind of squeezed into as few phrases on the Dirty Wave M8 as possible. And to do this, one of the things I've been doing is track one is kicks, track two here is snare, and then track three is hi-hats. I can add in more patterns using some of these techniques, but basically each one of these right now is just one pattern, and I'm using things like nth and other tools to kind of move notes around or play them when they're on certain phrases. So I just want to kind of talk about what and why, and then I'll get into the ways some of these things work. But this first pattern is phrase 0. And a thing I want to explain to you first is phrase 0, just a kick. And a nice thing about the way that the M8 works is if you're using slices, which happens to be what this program is, I basically created a audio file that is 64 slices. So I just named it kick 64 slice. So I remember when I come in and load it, just set slices to 64. And a fun side effect is if I go change the transpose amount, I can very quickly, without using a new phrase, just change the drum sound completely. So, just want to let you know, if you do this and you have your setup for scale set to C chromatic, actually I don't think it can be anything chromatic. As long as it's chromatic, you can come in and change those note values to be use transpose in the pattern chain to basically change your note for the kick. So the first thing I've been doing has been setting everything to C1, which is the first note in the chain. And then if I go use transpose, I can come in and make copies of just this phrase 0, drop it in, and very quickly change the drum sound to have it sound different, even though it's the exact same pattern. Similarly, I've done that for the snares and hats, but here we got another super bog standard snare hit. This like shows up in music all the time, and you'll just see I've repeated using 20 multiple times. There's no reason to recreate that pattern if you've already got it. Can do all kinds of other fun things with it as we're kind of freeing up some space. Hats here, 30. So this is just playing, and you'll see here the couple things. One, these nths, I've come in and basically put in ghost notes. They're playing at about half the volume of the main hit. And that's where we're getting like that extra roll, unlike that fourth bar. So I'm sure you guys, if you've been playing around with nths at all, you probably have a sense for these. Nothing too exciting here yet, but wanted to kind of highlight a few of these tips. I'm going to skip down to these other ones. They're really kind of doing a lot of the same thing multiple times. Here we go in a kick drum here. This pattern, again, not super exciting itself, but if we come in, what am I doing here on the snare? Well, if you listen, basically what's happening is on the third note, it says right on 3, we're doing a delay C, which means in general on the bar 1, 2, and 4, we're playing the snare right at this step. And then on the third, we're delaying it 6 ticks, which is putting the snare here. So, but I don't need to drop it here because we're just basically using delay. And I was kind of playing around with this as a technique to see what kinds of things I can do and how things overlap. But I'll just play it one more time just so you can hear it. So hopefully you heard, like, as I said, it's dropping the note right here. Could I have just come in and put a note here? Well, this is where it gets tricky. I absolutely could, but there's two things that happen. One is if I do this, well, I want to actually not have this note play on the third play, and there's not a way to have an nth where you say, don't play on the third that I figured out. So if somebody's got a better technique for this, go ahead and drop it in the comments. But basically, I want the A note that's going to play the first, second, third, and fourth. It's just that the position is going to change. So the velocity is the same and everything else. And what I want to do is just basically on that third note, shift this down to be a little bit later. If I put a note here, we're going to get like a double. And you're going to hear like on the third note, you only get a single. So it's another like totally valid pattern to have in place. But the way I want this to work was just to shift this note on the third bar down to the 9. And this kind of caused me to want to play around a little bit here with understanding the delay command a little bit better and whether it replaces things or the notes or not. So if we listen to this, we get a crash and then like the same crash but played lower. If I put the delay here, listen to what happens. It's not playing this note, and then it's playing it on top of this, so it's overwriting what's in like this C124 slot. So a thing that you have to know, if you're going to use delay and you happen to be dropping the note someplace else, you probably want the delay to push the note out on top of something that's going to have a similar sound. So like if we come here and have this value here, if instead of delay C, I go to, what am I at? Delay 18, which is going to delay this note from here to here. We instead are we're basically just dropping this and overwriting the note event that's happening on this 4 step. So again, like hopefully this makes sense, but I'm just playing with the timing for when notes are showing up and being used. And if you kind of pay attention to where you're throwing notes around, then you can make sure that you have the right volume, velocity settings for notes. Let's get back out of here and come here where this is probably the more complicated. I don't know, I'll get much more complicated than this because the math starts getting a little crazy, but here's like, again, like just another drum phrase, kind of like almost a ghost note coming in on the 2 and A. Then here, and actually I probably should have just made this 20. There's no reason to make a 24. Whoops. And the hat patterns have been pretty traditionally a little crazy. So if I show you here, this is where I find like a lot of the drum and bass does a lot of crazy stuff on the hats. So by splitting these up and reusing the phrases for the kicks and snares, I can also kind of just reuse those and then just make custom hat patterns here. And going back to what I was talking about, the delay here, see here we go to delay 6. Well, the reason why I have a delay 6 here is you can see that's going to basically just push it to the next step. And because I have the same velocity between the two, I am basically saying on the third note, drop this note or drop this note down here. And then this is playing on the 1 and 3 already. That's just where I wanted it. I didn't want it playing on the 2 and 4. So basically I'm just taking this note, pushing it down here on the third step, and it's going to play on the 1 and 3 anyway. So it's just overwriting it. And then here we're playing this note on the on every 2. So it's going to go play on the 2 and 4. So what this is doing is it's kind of getting a pattern that on the 1 it's playing one set. It's playing let's see, these 2 notes, if I remember correctly. On the 2, it's going to play this note and this note. On the 3, it's going to play, I believe that it's playing just this note. And then on the 4, it's going to play, I think, all of these notes, if I remember correctly. So you're going to get like these moving rolls. And one of the things that's like really important in drum and bass is you just want to have movement in your patterns. And if I show you, like, let's just play this, like this pattern. It's allowing it to, again, have like some movement in both the snare, where we're changing this note on the 3rd, where you kind of get like that, like skip. And then you have like followed up by like the last bar has like that roll for the hats. Now let's go back to this pattern. So again, like this is just like kind of a ghost note. We've got standard snares. And then here I've got just this is right now a completely bog standard hi-hat roll. It's not doing anything interesting or exciting. So if I go play this, it's going to sound exactly the same for 4 bars. Now, let's say I did actually want to do something a little special. Maybe I want here. Let's go back. Let's make these a little bit more normal. So let's say we want an nth here, and we're going to play this every 2. Let's go do this. We're going to copy, paste. So now we just have like something where we get like a ghost note on the 2nd bar and 4th bar. Cool. And I don't know, we can go steal some of these commands. We can rewrite them a little bit. So I'm just taking this out. Come here. And let's say we wanted to drop this here. This will immediately kind of change the behavior of that roll. So a couple things to note, right? This is delay 6, so we're actually on the 3rd note going to be overwriting here with the 44. If we're okay with that, we're cool. I'm actually want to drop this down. We want to play this. We're going to go delay C, so that what we're doing is taking this note on the 3rd note. We're going to drop it down here and just overwrite it. So it's going to be just playing it anyway. And then let's get a little bit crazier. Let's go on the 2nd note. We want to delay every 2 notes. We want to drop this one. We happen to have a 54 down here, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to go from C to 18, which is going to get us to 24 or 4 steps. So this is going to kind of change the movement of this pattern now. And give us a little something different. Anyway, I feel like I've been going way too long on this video, but yeah, hopefully if anybody's interested, try and like take this. Like this is just an example of trying to, as a way to kind of move some of the notes around, keep things moving, keep it interesting. And again, using as efficiently as possible a single phrase to allow you to create multiple patterns. And as just one last thing to show, if I go into live mode by holding shift and left, I can do fun stuff like start mixing up different patterns. And just kind of like, if I was playing live, I can now change up what I want for different drum patterns, different parts of the pattern, and just kind of mix it up like freeform, which is the reason why I've been like trying to break this up initially anyway, is so that I can come in and just be able to play these things, go crazy, and have fun. Anyway, everybody, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.